end of the webinar, you'll be able to ask more questions if you want. So today we will focus on the different ways to create rich digital documents for mobile and desktop platforms. You will see the different flavors of our solutions, and also how to automate this digital publishing process, because this is possible to create either manually or in an automated way these workflows.
Yes, I just would like to add before we start that we will register this webinar and we will send it to you at the end of the presentation. And to ask a question, you can do it in the panel of GoToWebinar in the question part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Alison. So in this diagram, you can see some of the tools and solutions that we provide to create digital content, as well as apps or applications. At the top side of this slide, you can see that we have either manual or automated ways to create this content. The very first way we will see is a plugin to InDesign, Adobe InDesign, which is named InDesign Offering. This is a plugin that you will see in more details in the slide right after this one. The cloud offering solution is a SaaS solution. So with a web access, you can upload enriched documents. And finally, the automated way, which is more complete, could be a bit more complex as well, because this requires some configuration. But you can convert massive flows of PDF files as well as massive content in structured content way, which is XML format. We will see that in the second part of this webinar. At the bottom of this slide, you can see as well two other tools that we provide, App Factory tools, one for iOS and one for Android, so that you can generate yourself the app containers for your digital content. We have as well now generation of applications, rich applications for Windows 8 and 10, as well as macOS 10. Last but not the least, in the top left corner, you see the Cloud Connect icon, which is the other part of our solution, SaaS-based as well, which is a way to manage, which will propose you a way to manage your delivery of your content to the several apps and applications and web channels that you can use to disseminate your content. In this webinar, we will concentrate on the authoring part, so the plugin to InDesign as well as cloud authoring, and also the automated conversion of these files. Last but not the least, we have three main output formats in this long range of tools. The very first one, which is for sure one of the most popular and historically one of the first, is EPUB. We are still providing EPUB fixed layout version for e-readers, compliant with all the main e-readers on the market, as you can see. The second main format is our own proprietary format, which is called AVE. This is a package encapsulating HTML5 components, enrichments, as well as your native content. We are providing this proprietary format because we provide much more animations, enrichments, and interactivities than the rest of the competitors. And for this purpose, we are packaging all of that into a single package in two flavors, by the way, PDF way and MAG way. We won't dig into too much details because I really want to cover all the aspects of this webinar today. But this is also a good way to secure and track your content once you disseminate it to your mobile fleet or mobile apps, as well as your websites. Last but not the least, we are also providing HTML5 output packaged in what we call a web reader. So this is an autonomous archive that you can deploy and reuse yourself and configure yourself on your website which could be either for intranet or extranet or internet purposes. We are also now bringing new applications, fat applications for Windows 8 and 10, so which can be used not only for PCs and Macs, but as well for tablet PCs. So this is the range of outputs. Let's get now to the different solutions that we are providing at Aquafadas to enable you to create this content, as well as convert it in an automated way. The very first way and the most simplest way to create your content would probably be the cloud offering for PDF version of our tools. This is again an online tool, so you get access to it, and by the way, you can create yourself your own account after this webinar. You can test it for free, and then it's very easy to create a new project where you will simply upload a PDF of yours. And once you uploaded the PDF, our digital factory will analyze it, digest it, and convert it to the AVE format so that we can disseminate it to, again, mobile, phablets, tablets, and desktop applications, as well as web applications. And with this interface, you can not only convert it to digital, but naturally you can add enrichments. I listed for you the main enrichments which are available on top of PDF. So images, audios, videos, as well as slideshows, web views, which can be a link to your own websites or mini websites, buttons which will launch any of the others enrichments, and anchors so that you can jump to a direct section and page of your content. All of this is very simple. You just need to select a zone and create an enrichment at this place with the tools that you see at the top of this screenshot. I won't get into a demo of this one today. You can have it after this call if you want, because we will focus mainly on the plugin to InDesign, which is the next one. But this solution is very simple, and what you do manually as a first step, you can also automate it. And in that case, this is the conversion flow solution, where you can very simply place a lot of your PDF, legacy PDF, on one of your FTP servers or box, because we are recently integrating with a box as well. Or you can use Aquafadas hosting facilities as well. And then you just upload your PDF to this place, and we connect our conversion flow engine to this FTP or box or server site. And we digest automatically all of the PDF, and we will convert them to the digital output. So this is more for industrial processes, but we did it very successfully for press publishers, and we are starting to do it for corporate accounts now. The second option, which probably some of you are here to get some updates as well on, is the InDesign plugin. So we are also providing free of charge an Adobe InDesign plugin that you can use to create yourself your own content. This is usually used by graphic designers, agencies, or internal graphic studios at companies to create highly enriched and interactive documents for mobile devices. This is for sure a higher production cost than if you go to automation. You can easily understand that. But again, this is good to create very efficient, attractive, engaging documents. And again, you can use it for some of your documents, as well as you can use automated workflows for the others. You can combine manual and automated ways with our solution. It's really up to you. Just to show you an example of what you can create with this Adobe InDesign, I will show you first of all a demo of one of our customers' application. For this purpose, I'm going to replicate my iPad on my screen, so I hope that you can see it well. Again, if you have any trouble, please raise your hand and ask it to Alison, who will stop me at any time. Now you should be able to see my iPad. And let me use one of our documents. This is a customer application with several documents, very rich documents like this one. This works not only on iPad, it works on Android tablets as well and smartphones. So what you can see is one of the first enrichment, basic one but efficient one as usual, which is a video. You can see the video as a background starting immediately once you start reading the document. Then we can use, we can navigate through the document in different ways. With our solution, you can create a cross navigation across your publication or across your documents. You can navigate horizontally, first of all, but you can also navigate in a vertical way. When you tap anywhere on the application, somewhere where there is no enrichment, you can have access as well to the flat plan, which will describe all the pages of your document. And then you can start navigating. So I have, first of all, an horizontal navigation. You can see an interactive button which tells me that I should scroll down because there is some content available down of this page. And I can continue to show you some of these of the enrichments. This is a table of content for sure, which can be animated, which will for sure jump directly to a specific page like I'm doing now. So I return to page 1, but I can go to any other page for sure. So let me continue. And I will show you some of the very nice enrichments that we provide with our tools. This is a quite interesting enrichment that was created using our tools, where you can start erasing the front picture so that you discover progressively the back side of this picture, which is the real content. So this was again created using our tools without any development skill set, nor any coding required. This is another page where you can see animations at the top, created again with the InDesign plugin. You can see as well pop-ups with these red circles along the world map, which can have scrollable text, areas, pictures. Again, in a pop-up, you can also add again enrichments. You're not forced to use only one level of enrichments. Then we go to sections. Within sections, you can have animations, you can have text as well in a vertical way with several capabilities. Let me scroll to the right so that we see other enrichments. In this case, we can see a very large page because you can not only have vertical scrolling zones and vertical pages, but you can have as well a long and large page like this one. So this is quite interesting to show some timeline, for instance, for your products or whatever you want to highlight with this document. Another good example of interactivity between your apps and your existing legacy websites, like for instance, if you want your users to be able to buy these products that you're highlighting in this app, you can click on the shopping cart, and then you get access directly to your store, online store. That could be also implementing, naturally direct access to online credit card purchase. Then we get another section. Let me scroll a bit more. We have a 3D animation, which is built very easily. You just have to add all the different photographies of your product side by side. And then you can also add contextual text or animations or pictures on the side of it. So this is 3D animations. Another 3D animations with less pictures, which will in that case show the different steps of a cocktail. But because the guy didn't want to show all of the minor steps, they took only a few pictures, which make a different effect for this 3D animation. Another sample of map, which is a city map in that case, where you could show all the different bars in that example, where you can get the different products of this customer, and where you can dream them with some details, right? Okay, so let me go back to the right. Then another video as a background. Again, you can see that this is very nice and attractive content, but this is not only due to the quality and the large availability of enrichment, this is also due to the way the graphic designer is putting all the elements together. So there is real graphic design creativity there. Another sample of pop-ups with a fixed zone and a scrolling zones. And we will finish with another sample of enrichment, which is quite nice, a slider where you can use your finger to select a layer and see what's behind this layer. So that was used, for instance, for this sample, as well as for photography books, for instance, where you can see how you apply filters to your photo shoots. So these are some of the examples that you can create with the InDesign plugin. So let me go back now to the way you create it in InDesign. So let me switch off the mirroring and get back to our presentation. So how do we create such rich documents? We have a plugin that you can download from our website. With this plugin, you will get 3 different palettes and more than 30 enrichments. So let me show you how it looks like. I got my InDesign already launched. And as soon as you install our Aquafadas InDesign plugin, you will get 3 additional palettes inside your Adobe InDesign. This is so far compliant with Adobe CC 2015. We are just about to complete the porting and migration to Adobe CC 2017, which, as you know, get rid of Flash very brutally by Adobe. So we had to migrate very brutally as well to HTML5 palettes. The very first one you were able to see if you already got our plugin and if you updated it recently is the last one, which is the enrichment palettes on the left side, which is already compliant with HTML5, as you can see, and so the new UI of Adobe InDesign and Adobe Product. So we are now converting the 2 other palettes, Project Manager and Interactivity ones, which should get into pre-release program next month. And we did not announce yet the release date, but that will probably be announced next month as well, coming up this summer. So we are at the very end of porting this plugin. And I will show you some initial screenshots of this plugin for Adobe CC 2017. So how does it work? You have the very first palette, which is Project Manager, where you will start creating your project. With this project, you will first of all select the devices that you want to apply for. So that could be Apple, iPad, iOS, Retina displays, or others. You have all the different choices like Amazon, Kobo, but also you have Android devices, all the different flavors of iPhones, etc., etc. So because you will be creating layouts, pixel perfect, which means you will be creating layouts for these different ratios, but also orientations. If you want to get such a nice output like we have seen on the iPad, this is the only way so far to create such very high interactive and rich design content on mobile devices. But once you do that, you are using your graphic designer skill set as usual to create the layouts, to get your content inside. And you will be using then the second palette, which is heavy interactivity, where you can add any of our numerous interactivities. You can add slideshows, pictures, videos, buttons, comparators, HTML web views, where you can integrate your own HTML5 developments, like animations, like dynamic advertising, as well as any kind of HTML5 applications. You can have quizzes, you can have games, You can have drag and drops. You can have different selections available and anchors and vertical scrollable layouts, sub-layouts as well. So this is very easy. You just select one of these, like for instance, a slideshow, and then you just need to select the kind of slideshow, like this one. You create the slideshow, and then you add your different pictures from your desktop or from your network. So that could be any of these, like if I'm selecting some of my pictures there, let's say these ones. It's very easy to select your existing pictures, which will come up in that palette. And then you can reorder them, you can create captions, you can crop them, you can create actions on top of each of these pictures, audio actions as well. This is only one sample. You can also add Ken Burns effects for slideshows and automated animations. So this is the very first example of how you create such a nice content with this palette. Let me show you now a quick overview of the upcoming plugin for InDesign CC 2017, again, which will be very compliant to HTML5 UIs, like the enrichments palette. This one, which is already built today in HTML5, will list all of the enrichments that you created in your document. So once you create such rich documents like we have seen on my iPad, you will probably add a lot of animations, interactivities, and it's good to have that palette just to navigate automatically to the different places where you added these enrichments. So you can easily get back to it, correct it, modify it, or even unselect it or hide it. Now, if you want to have a quick overview of how it will look like, let me show you an overview, a quick preview of this upcoming plugin for Adobe CC 2017. You can see the three of our palettes now in HTML5 format. The very first one at the top left, which is Project Manager. The second one, which is a project structure, which is part of Project Manager. And then we will see later the AV interactivity one, where you get all the interactivities. And the third one, which is the list of enrichments that you already saw in my current version of Adobe InDesign. Let me go to another one. Once you expand some of the project structure sub-elements, you get the pages, components. What you can see with this example is that this is much more suited, first of all, to the Adobe UI kind of UI. This is also much more compact, so it will take less space on your screen. It will be a bit more performance, sorry, as well. You can see, for instance, this is a palette in that case of the enrichments, which is a list of the enrichments by name with small icons, but you can also get it with this way as a grid of icons if you prefer. But again, you can see that it's much less taking space on your screen and much more compliant as well with Adobe current UI. So I'm not gonna dig into all the details. That was just to show you a preview of this upcoming plugin. So you can see the details of one action, which is a button action in that case. Another case would be, if I go, this is a quiz in that case, where we can see questions on the left and the kind of answer that you're asking to your user, like yes or false, or multiple choices, or filling the holes, or whatever. You have a lot of options. And we are maintaining all the enrichments we got in the current version for version 2017. We are not removing or adding any enrichment. That will be exactly the same, but with a different UI, as you can see. So that was just to show you a sample preview of this upcoming plugin. And we will keep you posted and up to date as soon as we launch the pre-release program and as soon as we have a release date for you. So that was the preview. Let me switch back to my presentation so that we see the other ways to create content. We have seen two manual ways, the cloud offering for PDF and the InDesign plugin way. Now let's see at how you can automate this digital process, this digital publishing process. We have a very first, for all of our automated workflows, we are proposing Creative Flow as part of cloud offering. Creative Flow is an option that helps you to automate the digital publishing process as soon as you get structured content up front on your side. If you can get structured content in XML format, almost whatever schema or structure your XML is, you can build InDesign templates with a plugin that we have just seen. And once you build the templates, the solution will combine and merge the templates with your articles or content coming in XML format, which could come from any of your content management systems available at your site. That could be your CMS systems, that could be your web CMS. For instance, if you're already publishing your structured content to a website through a web CMS, like whatever, WordPress, Drupal, or Joomla, or whatever, you can probably export your content in XML format because these systems are managing your content in XML format. And you just have to build InDesign rich layout templates with our plugin, and we will configure with you our Creative Flow engine so that we merge automatically your content with templates. This is one of the very first automation. We are using that for industrial press publishers in France, and we are starting to use it as well for corporate publishers. And I want to show you a sample of how the end result will look like so that you understand better how you can combine all your content in one digital output. So for this purpose, I'm gonna again replicate my iPad on the screen. And you will see a concrete sample, which is not a sample, by the way, which is in real production. I'm sorry for all of you because this is a French content, but you will get the concept, I'm sure. So let me use, not this one, I'm gonna use one of the other. Yes, this one. So this one is a newspaper. It's in fact a weekly newspaper because it's published only on Sundays in France. This is one of the most popular weekend newspaper available in our country. And what you will see now is the different ways you can publish it. The very first way you can publish your content, and again, keep in mind, this is not targeting only press publishers. We also have corporate companies now using these solutions for any kind of marketing, communications, sales, content and documents. But this is easy to show you what press publishers already did with our tools in a very and highly industrial way. Because we have another sample with the biggest newspaper in France, which is called Ouest de France, using our engines and solution to publish every night 54 editions, 54 issues of their content for France. In that sample, you see that we have a very standard PDF, which is a spread view. If you get your device in a vertical way, we will automatically switch to a portrait view. But what is more interesting now is that I told you, you can also automate the publishing of not only PDF like this one, but you can also automate the publishing of your content with a nicer, let's say nicer and more appropriate layouts for mobile devices. If I click on any article, you can see that it's detecting the zone of this article, and I can click on the article button there, and that will switch to the other view. This view was built using exactly what I exposed to you, which is a layout, first of all, built within InDesign. So what this customer did was to build a layout for tablets, one for the portrait orientation, another one for the landscape orientation, which you can see now. If I reorient my iPad to a vertical view, you can see the InDesign template, which was built for the portrait view. And they built also a portrait view only for smartphones, because as you can imagine, this is almost the only way to read a newspaper on a smartphone. When you get to a section like this one, you get your content as scrollable zones. You can see the table of content on the right side. And sometimes you will get animations, you will get videos, you will get slideshows. But what is important in that sample is that all of this content that you see on the screen has been merged automatically by the Creative Flow engine. Again, mixing the content coming from this newspaper as an XML content with a layout which was built using the plugin to InDesign. All of that is, again, for every issue, built automatically by the Creative engine. You can switch back anytime to the PDF version, as you can see, with the bottom right button, which is called PDF, and you can get to another page. Or you can stay and keep your view in as, let's say, like I'm trying to come back here to my article view. Or you can swipe and get to the other sections. As you can see at the top, I'm swiping to the right or to the left, which is automatically changing me to another section of the document. And then again, I get these vertical scrollable zones to get access to all the articles per section. So this is one sample of a view, but again, all of that is built automatically from the XML content. The templates are created at the initial step, at the initial configuration step of the automated workflow, but they don't need to be updated every day for sure, unless you want to change anything like new colors, new logos, or you want to modify the template. And in that case, you can re-upload the new templates to the solution, and it will be applied for the issue right after you upload it. Let me show you another example on how it looks like on a smartphone. And for that, I will mirror my iPhone now for the same content. Okay. So for the same content, I'm going to use, the application is already launched. You can see the same section, sorry again for the French-speaking language, but you can probably see the main sections, which is, by the way, about our national election coming up this Sunday. You can see that this section is much more different on the iPhone. And if I try to reorient my iPhone in a landscape way, that won't change. You can't see it from your side, but I'm really rotating my iPhone, and it doesn't change the orientation of the text because the customer wanted to fix the orientation so that you can read it more in a vertical way. Again, you can swipe to the left or to the right to switch of section, and then you can again scroll down and get a more appropriate view of the content which fits well on a smartphone. So again, all of that is created for every issue in an automated way through the Creative Flow solution. So let me switch off my mirroring and come back to this one. I want to give you a quick overview of how does it work, because this is important to understand that this is not such a complex engine. We usually configure it with you the very first time, and then we give you a knowledge transfer so that you can change it, modify it yourself. And finally, you can create your own automated workflows by yourself or with your own partners whenever you want, which is the case for most of our customers today. So again, Creative Flow is a way to automate your digital publishing and delivery of your content to smartphones and all mobile devices, as well as web output. I will show you in a minute the web output, how does it look like. So here you can see how it works. On the left side, you will design your templates with InDesign and our plugin to InDesign. On the right side, you see the result of merging your content coming in XML format from your web CMS, for instance, filled into this rich layout that we built on the left side. Again, the merge is done automatically behind the scene by our Creative Flow engine. You don't see it. And I wanted to avoid to show you an XML content as well, which is quite ugly on the screen. But this is, again, the merge of it, of the two components, which is done automatically with Creative Flow. How does it work in terms of configuration? All of that is fully SaaS-based, so you just need to access your web navigator. And through our tools, you'll be able to design what we call the flat plan or the plan structure of your publication. Again, remember, this is not dedicated to press only. For press, this will be the name of the sections. But for you, it could be the different sections of your documents, which could be technical, could be internal or marketing communications, external communications as well, or sales documents. We are creating also very engaging sales enriched documents for sales forces at our customer sites with our sales enablement app solutions. So this is a flat plan that you design. So you create the sections of your document. Then you simply upload your layouts that you built with InDesign and our plugin. And once you did that, you configure where your content will be located. Remember, this could be an FTP server on your side or on our side. That could be also a box location if you prefer. And once you drop your content at this place, our engine will automatically pull the content from this place, analyze it, and make it available in this right column so that you can either associate it manually by dragging and dropping to the section and the right layout, or you can use as well a rules engine within the same screen. On the left side, we are digesting and analyzing your XML content, and we are extracting automatically your attributes, which you could call metadata information, and we are applying your layout templates. And I won't dig too much more into this now because we don't have time, but it's very easy because all of that is done automatically. You just have to select the right templates per section with the right rules, and then as soon as you want, the engine will automatically get activated and will pull the content within these templates. How do we usually prepare that? This is in 3 steps. First of all, you create what we have just seen, so the initial flat plan, sections, the rules, and finally your you can see at the top right your layout templates created in InDesign. So you do all of that as a preparation step. Once this is prepared, you can get to the automated digital publishing. You can test it first of all on any kind of document to make sure that it works well. And once you validate it, you can automatically activate it on the frequency you want. That could be also publishing automatically as soon as the new content shows up, or that could be automatically launched like a batch process at a specific times and days of the week or whatever you want. And finally, you can also automate the delivery of this content to your native apps, either using our SDK, because we are providing a development kit if you want to integrate our technology within your legacy apps, or that could be also pushed as a web output. And for the web output, we are also now providing a new way to create templates, which is not only InDesign, because you could see that InDesign templates are very rich, very engaging, but you can also use your existing legacy responsive web templates that you did or created for your website, and you can also add them to the Creative Flow engine, again, merging your content, structured content in XML format, with your responsive web layouts. And in that case, you can create full responsive web publications within our apps. So you can disseminate very easily your web responsive, enriched and interactive content to native apps as well as web outputs. And you can also merge all of them together. You can have a PDF like we have seen in our example. You can have an InDesign layout, or you can have HTML5 templates. It's really up to you. All of that could be combined the way you want. And I'm going to show you how it would look like, for instance, on a web browser, because you have seen native apps in our samples just before. but we have also a very nice and brand new now web reader. So let me show you how it looks like. This is a publication which was built with the tools that you have seen up front. But as soon as you want, you can export it as an HTML5 package. And in that case, we provide an HTML5 archive, which is compliant with all of the website. If you move your mouse, you will see controls appearing on this window. You can get full screen, first of all. You can get also the flat plan view of your publication. You can zoom in, so let me scroll, and all the controls I'm using with a mouse could be used with gestures on mobile devices. So you can use the pinch, the swipe to move, to zoom in, zoom out, or you can use your mouse on the desktop to move to whatever you want place and zoom in. You can see enriched content mixed with content there. You can click on the content and that will show you the guided reading view. And I will show you another way also to show it. You can also zoom in much more if you want. And you can see that we are providing now a PDF view of your content. So the very first view that you saw initially was a picture, so that it's getting very fast to your mobile devices, because we are always prioritizing the performance to your content. But once you zoom in, you want very good quality of your content. And this is exactly the quality you would get if you would print it or if you would be using retina displays or whatever. So this is a zoom in. You have also a navigation to the different zones of your content. You have a table of content, which can get you to the direct section or page of your content. And what you don't see in that sample is that we are also providing, if you want, a download PDF button if you are providing a PDF along with your document. We are proposing also print of this PDF if needed. We are providing bookmarks, annotations, which can be synchronized across the different mobile devices. If you're reading that publication on the mobile and then on the web reader, it's really up to you. A very last example before we get to your questions would be again one of the other newspapers that we have in France, which is named Le Figaro, using that new web reader. Let me switch, for instance, to whatever page. If I click, you can see that it's zoning exactly the article where I clicked on. I can again zoom in, and you can see again that process, but I can use also the scrollable of my mouse, the scrollable button of my mouse. Let me get back to that. And if I get there, I can use also the reflow mode. The reflow mode is the HTML5 web responsive templating. Oops, I got probably my first demo effect of the day. That happens sometimes. Let me switch back and reload it. Yeah, I think I lost it. So I hope you can still see my screen, and I hope that I didn't lose internet access, and that's only internal access to my demos. I hope that, Alison, can you still see my screen?
Yes, yes, it's working, yes.
Okay, good. I prefer that because I thought I lost my internet access. This is another example of responsive web. You can see a big picture, you can see text, but with this sample, you get access to the capability to enlarge your content, to reduce it, things that you're not able to do with a fixed layout design like InDesign for sure. This is the difference. You can get to a table of content, and you can get a responsive view, like I will move it to a smartphone view, and you can see my text, which is still readable thanks to these tools, because we are fully HTML5 responsive in that case. And all of the enrichment still works in that view, which could be smartphone, tablet, or desktop. So this is the responsive web view. So I wanted to show you today different ways, again, to create the content, either with the InDesign plugin or with simple PDF that you upload and you add enrichments, as well as a full automated picture that you started to see today. This is just, again, an introduction and overview, where you can mix your structured content, XML content coming from your web CMS, for instance, with your rich layout that you can build either in InDesign or as an HTML5 responsive web templates. And you can, from our tools, you can generate automatically the digital output in HTML5 or AVE format. And with Cloud Connect, which was not part of this webinar, you can push it, disseminate your content to native apps, web apps, or your own legacy apps using our SDK, or finally the HTML5 archive, like you have seen in our web reader. We are also enabling recently Elasticsearch, which is plain text search over all the content that you index and upload through our solution, which is a good way to find specific elements within the huge size of the content that you can use with our solution. So I'm closing now my presentation because we are just ending with the time. You probably have some questions, so if you're patient enough, we'll be glad to answer your questions now.
Yes, so there is some question. So maybe we are going to start with a question about the InDesign plugin. The first question was, is that true that you can create apps using the InDesign plugin? And
Yeah.
if you can create app, do they need the support of your servers?
Yeah, so that's a good question. As you could see in this slide, with the InDesign plugin, you will be creating the content. Then you'll be creating the apps with two other tools, part of our family, of our solution family, which are the App Factory tools at the bottoms of this screen, which will enable you yourself or your partner or ourselves, because we are also providing this service if you want for you, which will provide you a way to generate your own applications for iOS, for Android, for Windows now, 8 and 10, as well as Mac OS 10. And finally, the web output is just a web package, so you don't need an app for that. So the answer is a combination of a plugin and App Factory to create the app. But yes, you have a full control of your app generation, and you will just need our servers when you want to update the content or update the apps, or if you're using, for instance, authentication like force login, which in that case will require to get authentication for our servers and your servers.
The second question is a reminder about the compatibility of our plugin with Creative Cloud 2017.
Yeah, so the plugin is available today and compliant only with CC 2015 and less, and up to CS6 of Adobe Creative Suite. The upcoming version for CC 2017 will be starting in pre-release mode next month and will be released by summertime, but this is not available yet.
The other questions are about Creative Flow. The first one is to know if Creative Flow is available, because on the website it's still marked as coming soon.
Yeah, the Creative Flow, so I can show you very quickly. If you go to Cloud Offering, you can go there and create your own account free of charge if you want to start. And once you get on the automation part, you can see the three different flavors of automated workflows. Conversion flow, which is the massive way to convert a bunch of PDF files. Then you get the two different flavors of Creative Flow, the one based on HTML5 templates, as well as the one based on InDesign templates. So this is available in production now.
Yes, and to get this automatic workflow, you have to contact Aquafadas, so we can give you all the information to create your project and to get this kind of automation. The other question was, can you combine PDF pages and InDesign ones within the same document?
Yeah, so the answer is yes. We can combine multiple versions of pages, which is quite useful if you want to create very interactive or highly engaging pages within a PDF documentation, for instance. But again, this has to be configured with our help because this is a complete configuration process, but that can be done.
Another question about analytic tools. Do we have analytic tools to track users?
Yes, we provide compatibility with the tagging of Google Analytics, Localytics, and Piwik, which are the three main analytics systems, so that you can get and track the usage of your apps as well as your content, as well as even when the content is disseminated as a web reader.
Is there template for layout? Do we provide example for layout?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we are not providing yet. We are providing a very simple and basic template. By the way, I think I can show you how it looks like. I have a good example there, which is again Le Figaro in that case, but that could be used. In fact, this is a way you can use our tools. This is a basic template that you will see on the left side, which has a banner at the top. We provided as a very simple start, but usually we can ingest very easily your existing web templates, and we can work with you. If you don't have any web team or agency, we can also work with you and provide it to you as a service. But in that case, you see on the left screen that this is a basic HTML5 template. You can see the different sizes as well. If you want to look at it as a preview before you publish it, you can see it in action for smartphones like this one with a nice parallax effect. You can see it as a desktop large way as well. In that case, you get all of the content in HD format. You can see it as an iPad version. These are the previews that we provide initially. And on the right side, because I didn't say that, but once you publish automatically with our tools like Creative Flow, you have a way to edit the content before it gets published. So you can move the components like this one, because these components are, you can drag and drop them. You can also add more components like images, text components, video enrichments. And as soon as you do that, you get again a new preview, which is generated on the fly on the left side. So you can see that the picture got moved on to the after the subtitle. You can also use some of our nice editing tools so that you see the way your picture will look like in different mobile devices ratios. So you can adjust that yourself. This is the post-editing or initial offering stage of your content, which is very easy to create structured content from our tools as well.
Another question about layout. Do you have to create one layout per device?
So if you use InDesign, the answer is yes, you need to create a fixed layout or pixel perfect layout per device orientation and ratio, as I told you initially. If you're using HTML5 templates like this one, you just need to create one or a few ones if you want to differentiate some sections of your content. But an HTML5 responsive template will adapt automatically to the orientation and size of the mobile devices. So it depends which kind of templates you choose.
Okay, you have shown us that we can export as a web reader too. What is the pricing for the web reader?
So the web reader is part of when we sell our solution. We are selling apps across many different operating systems. So we are selling you a way to publish your content to at the same time iOS, Android, and the web reader is part of it. So the initial price for instance, for one publication only, or one document only in a single app, but again, across devices, including the web reader, is €3,000. But if you want to get more content, more publications, it can get up to €7,000 for 12 publications. And if you want unlimited ones, you can get up to 25K. Again, all of that depends on what you want to publish, on which kind of devices. And last but not the least, if you want to publish to your legacy apps, we also provide an SDK, as I said, which is starting at 25K. And in that case, you can integrate it yourself or with your partner to your legacy apps. But again, regarding the automation part, for this part, we have starting price at 25K for the optional Creative Flow engine, but this is without any service. And as you can imagine, that requires services to understand your workflow, to configure the workflow then for you, to get you knowledge transfer, training, and finally assist you and support you during the production phase. So that requires that we be in touch together so that we can personalize that presentation to you and get you a very accurate price for you.
And there is one more question about if you are mixing XML content and content based on InDesign layout with a different rhythm for publication. Do you have to resubmit again the application to republish the content, or is the content pushed automatically into the app for all the devices?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So the content, regarding the content, whatever way you do it, if you do it manually as well as if you do it in an automated way, you never need to update, rebuild, and resubmit your apps. If you're using our SDK or our next generation apps, you just need to update the content, and Cloud Connect, which you didn't see in this presentation, will automatically disseminate and push it to the right channels, which means your apps, which are disseminated into the market. So you don't need to, again, resubmit the app regarding any update content. Now, if you look at the app itself, naturally you can personalize it, configure it with us before you submit it to Apple. But you can do even more because we are providing a next generation app that you can see probably on my screen now. I have a sample there, like this one. And when you look at this app, this is in fact an app which has for sure documents like this one, which was created with the InDesign plugin. Other documents like the bottom ones, which are PDF automated with our tools as well. But all the rest of this container, you can see like banners to navigate to a different section, or a word map at the end, or a video at the top. All of these banners can be edited with our back office, which is a web access to your app. And you can change on the fly any of these banners. You can change the video, you can change the visual, the pictures, the naming of your sections. And as soon as you save it, that will be immediately available to your consumers without, again, resubmitting the app to the Apple Store or to Android Market or to whatever store you want.
Okay. There was one more question. Do we have any plans suitable for a single author that publish only a few books per year?
So you mean books only, not magazines or documents? That's what you mean? I'm not sure to understand precisely the question.
I don't have more details, but yes.
Yeah. Because again, we have apps to publish, as you understood, EPUB format if you're just looking at books. So you can use our tools to generate EPUB as well. But as you can see, the very rich content that we are providing with our apps and digital content is more suitable for HTML5 output and AVE output. So yes, we are providing EPUB output for books, for ebooks. If you want just a few documents in your apps, yes, we are providing, as I said, apps with a limited set of publications, which can be whatever you want. Could be magazines, could be your company documents, and we have different pricing models depending on the number of documents you want to publish.
Okay, thank you, Stéphane. I think this is it for questions. Thank you very much for your attention and to be part of this webinar. Thank you, Stéphane, for your presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you, all of you, for attending and staying with us even later. We appreciate, and we hope that you were interested. We are available to all of you if you want to get a specific and personalized presentation. And we have a lot of partners helping us in the field all over the world. Some of them are also, I could see, attending this webinar. So we'll be glad to introduce you to them if you're in another country. We have a good network everywhere in the world. So have a good day today.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.